my God, Jaguar Jonze, hi.
Oh my God, Cain Cooper, hello. It is an honor.
I do want you to start by just telling me a bit about the journey of bringing Little Fires to, the ears of everybody.
I wouldn't even say it was like a little journey. It was a huge journey.
One of 6 or 7 songs that you had prepared?
I didn't choose Little Fires. I let everyone choose Little Fires. As in, I stayed at home for a month and was just writing and writing. And I was putting the magnifying glass over every single word that I decided to use in the songs. 2 of the songs had 2 alternate choruses to make sure that if I was coming back, I'm coming back with the best that I could give. After a month of writing songs, I had no I was just that sounds like Mary Had a Little Lamb now. Little Fires just kept coming up as the choice, and I was really surprised at the time because I submitted Little Fires as just an acoustic number, nothing fancy, nothing flash, but the song seemed to stand out to people and they kept saying, wow, I cried when I first heard this.
And so these other songs, will they see a future in this body of Jaguar Jonze work?
I am working towards a debut album, and some of the songs that I wrote in that month-long stint has made it to that debut album. So yeah, we'll definitely see it.
That's exciting, a debut album. I mean, I still have this one, which I've brought up.
Cool!
It is. I am curious about how Little Fires is going to be presented on the stage.
Obviously, you want the inside scoop.
I do. I want secret Squirrel business. But you know what I thought when I first saw that cover art? I thought, oh my God, Jaguar Jonze is setting herself up for a dislocated shoulder again.
Or the opposite, because I'm so strapped in. It's like a good physio's just done my you are not going to dislocate your shoulder this time. I have purposely weaved in hints in the music video. When I was writing the song, I had this visual idea in my head already, and I pitched it and they were just like, are you crazy? So I went back to the drawing board and did a bunch of research and came again and was like, haha, what about this? And they're just like, no, it's crazy. And I did more research and I just did testing at home and then presented it, and they're like, oh, maybe we can make this work. And I was like, yeah!
I mean, if Kate Miller-Heidke can be on a swinging pole...
I definitely pushed the boundaries and I think I'm making it happen. So fingers crossed it all comes together and everyone else loves it. But I'm so excited for it because I literally have put so much emotional and physical and every kind of energy into this.
Well,
it's amazing to think about how much I've grown.
Fires. These are
I love it.
Eurovision loves pyro, right? So, and you've got this song that's perfect for pyro. Will we all need little extinguishers?
If we want to set the place on fire, don't bring extinguishers. But bring your tea light candles. Maybe that's our little pyro.
I don't even think they allow tea light candles at carols by candlelight now.
Yeah, true. We need to get those LED that just flickers oh, look at me, I'm trying to be a candle.
Australia's only really been invited to participate in Eurovision until about 2025. Maybe that'll get extended, maybe it won't. But we've established Australia Decides now. What are your hopes then for the Australia Decides future?
What other platform is there in Australia like this where you can express yourself as a visual artist and as a musician? It's honestly a dream come true compared to a lot of countries where the domestic market is their biggest market and then there's the slot for the international market. I feel like we're the opposite, where a lot of our consumption comes from international markets, and then there's just this really competitive small slice of pie for the Australians.
Totally.
And I think Australia Decides does that, Yeah. I think it's, commonly said it's the only original song contest in Australia on TV. And we just need more of that to support originality and artistry. I would love the opportunity to go to Eurovision, like to Turin in Italy. But I also am in this performance for the fact that those 3 minutes are mine to take back my artistry after like 2 years of the advocacy taking over my life as well.
So, you know, like with your profile being so well known now, and especially with all the advocacy work that you have done, how has that really affected you personally?
I know this sounds cheesy, but it's honestly the truth. The people that got me through the last 2 years have been the Eurovision family and fans. Like, I was speaking up from a place of no like privilege, no power, no platform. But what it meant was I had to live my trauma publicly every single day, carry my story as well as hundreds of other stories with me, and make sure that they were elevated and represented to bring about actionable change. But I can only get here with the support of so many people around me and beside me, and this is where I'm saying it's that Eurovision family. Honestly, like, I was broken a couple of times and they came and carried me through to make sure that I stayed strong and followed through with what I set myself out to do in the first place.
Rabbit Hole itself is about your PTSD. Really, had you not sort of gone through that to make that song, you know, you wouldn't have been as equipped to move forward and become like this blaze of reckoning, you know, like as you have been, right? Totally. I mean, I fully forgot, like, you just like kind of stitched in that sequence for me in my brain. Rabbit Hole is talking about that place where I am in the bottom of, you know, feeling so scared and so small and so afraid. And you now look at Little Fires and go, I'm the one telling people, for those who are in that rabbit hole, that you are not alone and that there are people with you. And if you fight every single day, you can get to this place. Is there anything that you want to say that you haven't really had a chance to yet?
I feel like artists are pressured to maintain this perception and, you know, glamour and glitz and rock and roll. And the truth is, it's been a really difficult time for artists in the last 2 years. And I guess I'll just say that, like, musicians need everyone's support. I think my opportunity here is to say thank you to everyone who has supported me, like financially, emotionally, physically, like in so many ways. And I personally am just wanting to take that moment and go, thank you, because I am also still human.
The news should essentially have a culture section in the same way that they have a sports section. Why is there a double standard between performing arts or culture?
I know. I mean, my great example is I live next to a sports stadium. And the same day that I had my entire tour cancelled at a gig, which is literally down the road, I'm hearing 30,000 people in a stadium. It was really hard. And not just for me, but for so many people. Like, how do we survive? But yeah, you totally get it. And I love your thought processes. Like, I've never even thought about the fact that, like, we need a culture section in the news. And that's so true. And then bring it back to the start of our conversation. We need to create more of a domestic market for our music and our art in Australia. It just doesn't happen. I think it's taken for granted too, like how easy is it to access music and art and culture, but like it's not reflective of the energy that was spent in producing that art.
Jaguar Jonze, thank you so much for speaking to me. I just love that you keep creating content despite how difficult things are at times. So thank you so much. And
no, thank you.
I'm excited to
I'll see you next week.
I know.